Hi everyone, this is Alex Brooks from Read 5333 again. This is my second video for phonemic awareness. And as we know, when we are talking about phonemic awareness, we're talking about the way that we use phonemes, the sounds of a word, to be able to read the word. Okay, now the way we have to read the word is by knowing what the letters are, right, to make up the word. But then also to know what the letters are, we need to know what sounds those letters make. So it's a very specific process here. So as I mentioned before, as a dyslexia teacher, former dyslexia teacher, and hopefully, I'll still get to do that in my future career. That when we can focus on the sound that a letter makes, then we can focus on putting those sounds together into the letters that are given to the word, which are called the graphemes. And then by that, we are able to blend those phonemes together into those graphemes to create the sound, to create the word. So what you see here are some just generic words here. So I'm going to show you how to unblend these words by their sound. And then also in dyslexia, what we do is we code short vowel sounds with what we call a breve. Okay, this is called a breve. Okay, so when we are coding vowels with to help us understand how we break it down, when we're coding vowels, we code it with this letter called a breve, and that's for short vowel sounds. Okay, like ah, ah for o, for you, for e, I for I, A, E, I, O, U. Okay, make sure I got my vowels. Yeah, so that's how we do that, okay? So that's for the vowels. And then, of course, for the consonants, we don't have a particular code mark that we give consonants, but for vowels, it's the breve, okay? So what you see here are some words that I'm going to go through and break down. And then also we have a sentence here at the bottom that I'm going to read to help you figure out, help us figure out how to say it, okay? So number one, we look at the word cat, okay? So obviously, the first step would be, okay, in one of those articles that I read, I like that process that they gave here, okay? So the first step would be the letters. Well, let's see if we can identify the letters, okay? Well, C, A, and T, okay? And then the second step would be the actual phonics, okay? So the C makes a k sound, the A makes an a sound, and then the T makes a t sound, okay? So if you didn't know how to particularly code or how to particularly pronounce the A for a, this is where the breve comes in. Okay, we'll put a little breve over that because it makes that ah sound, the short vowel sound. Okay, and then when we say the t for T at the very end, we actually stop saying the word cat after the t sound, okay? So in a particular way, and I'm sort of introducing something else here called syllables, but in a particular way, we might actually add a syllable mark, okay? Okay. The next word is stand, okay? So the first step, let's look at our letters. We have S, T, A, N, and D, okay? And let's unblend it first. So you have S, T, A, N, and then D, D. Okay? I meant to do that here too, by the way. Sorry. All right. So with the A, there's another A sound, the short vowel. So we're going to put a breve over that to remind us that we pronounce that A. Okay? And then we unblend everything here. Okay? And then so st, a, and. Okay, st, a, and. So if we put it all together, stand, and actually it's very interesting because the proper way to say it would be stand, because like here in East Texas we say stand, so it's like but that's actually an a, so it'd be like stand, stand. And actually same thing with cat. We say cat or something like that, right, in East Texas, but it's cat, cat, cat. All right, let's try dog. Okay, so unblend, D-O-G, D-O-G. Okay, short vowel O, so d-og, d-og, dog. Okay, and there's your accent mark because it falls at the end. Okay, all right, let's try the word Alex. Okay, we got two vowels here. We have an A and E. So unblend, A-L-E-X, and they're both short vowel sounds. So we're going to say A-L-X, A-L-X, Alex, Alex, A-L-X, Alex. Okay. All right, let's go to our sentence here. The cow jumped over the stick. All right, so all right, now this is a particular special setting here because you have TH and E that make V, but E sometimes is not always short in a breve, but it gets a long accent called a macron. The long vowel sound is macron. Okay. The k, ow. Now, this particular case, OW is considered the OW would go together. K, ow. Okay. The cow jumped. Okay, now this particular case, in order to unblend jumped, J-U-M-P-E-D, you have to break down the suffix ed. Your base word is jump, and then obviously the U gets short code with a breve, jumped. Okay. Okay, over, O-V-E-R, unblend, O, which also gets a macron because it's long, Okay, in this particular case, ER is making the R sound. So in this particular case, it would be, you give it a different symbol because it's blended with the R. And actually, I messed up here. You would code this one with a line under it, over. Okay, and then same thing with the. Here's the again. T-H-E, and then stick, stick. Okay, this is digraph C-K. Mark out the K because we're not saying the K sound, we're just saying the K, the stick. I mean, K makes a K sound too, but in this particular case, when we're pronouncing words, the word stick, I gets short code with a breve, st. And then digraph CK, you mark out the K for silent. Okay, and there's a whole rule on that, but I won't go over that today. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I know this is kind of quick. I know I've kind of just rushed through this, but I'm just kind of trying to show you here just a few ways that when we're practicing phonemic awareness, helping our kids understand the sounds that the letters make, we unblend everything. We might identify the letters first, okay? We would identify the letters first. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said might. We would identify the letters, and then we would isolate the sound, and then blend the sounds together, blend the letters together to create the word, and then pronounce it all together, and then code everything like so. All right, thank you guys.